before this started, I was talking to Veronica, and she said, "What question are you going to ask me that I haven't been asked before?" So I'm going to take a try at it and see. So, and maybe you get this all the time, and this is the question I've been wanting to ask you. So this is the question I've interviewed Veronica before, and I wanted to ask this question, and I didn't get a chance to. And I'm sure many people here have this same question in mind. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like to work with Don Dummies?
Don Dummies came to the studios. I mean, I can't remember why, but I hit him very hard. Every time Don came into he was the sort of guy that said good morning and made you laugh. I don't understand what it was, but he was a lovely man. And I had a scene with him. I don't know what I had to do, but I slapped him. But I really slapped him. And he stood back and his little red cheek. And he said, "Did you hurt your poor little friend, darling?" And he stroked it for me. But we had a wonderful relationship. He had a great sense of humor. I mean, he was nothing but funny.
Did you ever get to speak to Peter Cushing in depth about art? Peter Cushing? Did you ever get to speak with Peter Cushing in depth about his art, and did you ever see his watercolors?
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness, with Peter. Yes, yes. But not until the end, I know. I underestimated his work. And of course then there was a book published that showed his work and kindly showed my portraits with that. That book was beautiful, by Wayne Kinsey. They were amazing days, and I regret not taking more advantage of those days. I took them for granted. We all take things for granted when they're happening at the time. Of course, they happen at the time, but I should have taken them. It was a gift I think I undervalued at the time. But now, when I see people like you coming here loving those moments, I realize how much it meant.
What was it like working with Rupert Davies?
Oh, I used to call him Uncle Rupert. We had a lovely time. He took me into London to meet his sister. We had those days, those working relationships were incredible. And I watched him on, do you remember Inspector Maigret? He was doing the Maigret series at the time. And of course, we all watched that. My mother was absolutely in love with him. And he was such a fine actor. And when I thought I got to meet this man, I thought this is a moment of unreality. And he took me into London and met his sister. We had a day in London together. He was my Uncle Rupert. I don't think you minded me calling him that. But he was a wonderful man to work with. And what I noticed about all the actors that I worked with was their quiet times, the way they just helped, we all helped each other. The support system was amazing.
And a lot of those scenes are extremely intense. So to get into the proper mood, did it take a lot of time in preparation to prepare those scenes and perform those scenes? Because of the intensity.
You mean talk about makeup, hair, that kind of thing?
Just the acting, like between the
acting. Just the acting. Yeah. No, I'm trying to recall. We had we read the scene together, but from then on we did the scene together. It was that's how it was. We read and we did. Hannah worked on a very strict budget, 6 weeks, and 1 take, 2, 3, you're pushing your luck. So we did it, and we just did, we understood how each other worked, because we had a read-through. Of course, we had a read-through together, and we found each other's strengths, and we felt that's how it was. We didn't have to do endless rehearsals or anything like that. We did it. 1 take, 2 take, don't push your luck. 3, you're really doing a bad job. So we did it. We just did it. It was just us doing our thing. It was so simple in those days. The scene had great lighting people, Freddie Francis, Terry, I mean, great directors. And we were family, so we just did it. And we did have a few, later in the day, we did have a few, well, we might call labour moments. Unions came in, and I remember when we were filming something, and a plant was in the wrong place. So the director said to the gardener, please, will you remove the plant? Or he said to Props, will you move the plant? And Props said, no, it's in a pot. And it's a live plant. That's the gardener's job. So they asked for the gardener. This is serious. This is what happened. So the gardener came and said he's not moving it because it's in a pot. And that's not his job, that's Prop's job. So two men, he took the plant out of the pot, and the gardener put it over, and the Props man put the pot. And that took about 3/4 of an hour.
I know you worked with Roger Moore
Yeah.
in the same.
Yeah.
And then I also understand, was it true you were under contract to Hammer, but there was interest in having you in a James Bond film?
Oh yeah. Well, I was on a contract to Hammer for my third movie with, with David Prowse. Yeah, I had a lovely cast, and Peter Cushing, of course. With Ralph Bates. Peter Cushing came to the set to congratulate him, which I thought was the very greatest thing to do. Yeah, I was happy with Hammer. That didn't matter to me. I remember Peter coming to the set. We were all set up, and Ralph was so surprised to see him. Everybody welcomed Peter back. But the fact that he'd come at all, when he'd left such an iconic role to a younger actor, I thought was an extraordinary thing. And but Peter was so loved, and I can remember that as if it were yesterday. And Ralph's surprised, and everyone's surprised and delighted he'd come.
Is there a particular memory of Roger Moore that you could share with us?
Oh yeah, Roger was a rogue. I don't know, I shouldn't say that. He invited me down to, he was going to a health spa the night before his wedding. And I knew Roger and his friend, who ran the Cushing House Club. And he invited me down for the evening to go and have a meal with them at this health spa. And I said, aren't you on a diet, Roger? And he said, yes, but not tonight. I'm going to, we're going to have a nice meal. And of course, so I go down to the health spa. And there's my mother standing in the street, can you imagine? And I was semi-detached home in Rupert Avenue. Now look, Roger, she has to be back by 9:30 in the morning because she's got to go and see her godmother. Oh, I'll have her back, Mrs. Beja, I'll have her back in time. And she's telling Roger more. So, and he says he's going to, yeah, I'll get her back in time. Don't worry about that, Mrs. Beja. Okay, so off you go. So off we went. And of course, we go to a restaurant, and he's not supposed to go to a restaurant. It's a gorgeous restaurant. His friend has a brand new white Mercedes, red interior. So we get into this, and I sit in the jump seat. We go to a restaurant, and everyone's saying, there's Roger Moore. Don't look now, but there's Roger Moore. I said, Roger, everyone's saying you're here. He said, I know, I don't care. So we have a lovely meal, and then we get up to go, and there we go, back in the jump seat, and in this lovely white Mercedes. Oh dear, this is not a good story. So Roger gets in, and he said, can I drive your car? And Julian was saying, well, do you know how to drive a Mercedes? Of course I do, I'd like to drive the car. And so he reluctantly gave the right to Roger to drive the car back to the health spa. Oh dear. This does not go well. So Roger gets in this brand new Mercedes with a red interior, and I get into the jump seat in the middle, and Julian sits there. No, Julian hadn't gotten in yet, and he said, I'm going to reverse the car so you can get in. we were against some hedges. So what I did was I straightened my mini skirt, but by doing so, I put my feet down onto the floor and pressed the accelerator. So this car immediately went into 70 miles an hour moment, and there's Julian saying, we're spitting up gravel. And Julian's standing there saying, what the hell are you doing, Roger? I said, I had no idea. Roger didn't know I'd done that. I didn't know I'd done that until later. And of course, then I went bright red. And I thought, I'm not going to tell anyone. I won't say a word. So Julian was really furious with Roger. So there was no damage to the car, but we did end up in a hedge. we drove out of the hedge. Well, I think Roger was forbidden ever to get a driver's seat again. Julian decided he was going to drive home. No damage to the new car. And we got home. I never said a word. I never said a word. To the day he died, I don't think Roger knew that that's what I did. I never told him. It was a lovely evening. And of course, the next day, he got married, and it was just a lovely evening. It was an innocent evening, but he shouldn't have eaten all that food with the week. That was the guiltiest thing about it.
Well, we have had wonderful days here with you. You've been here at the Monster Bash many times.
Oh my God, thank you.
And there are some people here who just want to show the appreciation from the Monster Bash.
Thank you so
for all the joy that you've given.
Monster Bash loves Veronica Carlson. You have been wonderful. We love you.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for being so patient with my answers. I've enjoyed being with you. I am enjoying you, and I hope to see you tomorrow. I hope to see you tomorrow as well. Please.